Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
To your collection.
Thanks.
So you started this successful jewelry company and now you're collaborating with CB2 on your first furniture line. Was this always part of the plan?
No. This was, CB2 was a great opportunity that came to me out of nowhere and a great meeting with Ryan Turf. So that was sort of the best thing that's happened in the last 2 years.
Were you nervous about what people, like, could you sleep last night?
No.
Or
No, I definitely nervous. This isn't my, I'm a jewelry designer. So this is something that was really a fun project and something I loved doing, but it's something new. Every time you do something new, it's scary, but
Sure.
you have to take the chance and do it.
So starting from a stylist to jewelry designer and then salts and now furniture,
Salts.
what's the through line in everything you do?
I mean, I really just try to make everything easy for everybody. It shouldn't
Right.
be something that feels so fussy that it's not attainable.
Yes.
For me, it's really, really important that people feel that they can connect with you as a person, most importantly, and then also with the things that you make.
Sure.
I never want to be, feel too fancy for anyone or feel like it's things that, they can't use.
Right.
My aesthetic in jewelry is pretty clean and minimal, and I wanted to take everything that I do in jewelry and really kind of make homeware easily accessible. Pieces that you're not going to get sick of. That's my thing. I try to make jewelry and things that you want to wear every day that you don't want to put in your drawer.
Yes.
And not wear in 6 months because you're sick of it after the first time you wore it. I wanted to take that same application into home. I wanted to, because I am really picky about what I put in my house.
Yeah.
And I never want to buy anything for my home that feels, that it's going to be dated, in the next year and I'm going to want to get rid of it. So I wanted to bring pieces to people that feel sort of the same way. Take it as like a simple hoop earring, a simple gold chain, things like that you're not going to really tire of because they're sort of classic, clean lines that will always be in style.
Now I have to ask, what is the key to working with your significant other? What is that key to success? And how do you navigate that?
It's really hard. I mean, every day,
so it is hard. It doesn't
really
come
hard.
easy. You have to work at it.
No, it does not. And it doesn't end when you get home. We had a rule when we first started working together that we weren't going to go to work together in the mornings, which we still do.
Yeah.
We commute separately to and from work, which has kind of been great. And that's super helpful.
It's your alone time.
I know, it really is. And
when else do you get alone time?
I know. And I started taking the train again, which has been the best alone time because I've been listening to music and podcasts. And that's been the best me time that I can get in my day. And I also feel like it's the energy of the city that I was missing not taking the train. So that's been sort of a great thing.
Yeah.
But back to Kevin, we don't share an office. That's really important. He's on a different floor.
A whole different floor.
No, but it's hard. I think communication is really, really important. We've gone through a lot in our relationship. And we've been together a long time. We've almost been married 20 years. So it didn't come easy working together in the beginning, but it's gotten a little bit easier.
So when you say communication, what does that mean? What does that exactly mean?
You have to be brutally honest with each other, and there's things, we try to keep a lot of that stuff out of the office, but at night on the weekends when we're talking about work, it's important to, if he's unhappy with how maybe I speak to him in a certain way that he's not happy with or vice versa, you have to talk about those things to make sure that you don't build a wall. And, you have to make sure that you're still, you make time to be a couple outside of that. Because at the office, we are such a couple, but it's a working couple and it's not really the same as when we're at home.
Right.
And I think parenting children keeps it super real. And, we've got 2 teenagers at home now. So that, it's crucial to, we're a team. That's what he always says, it's one team, one dream. That's what he always says.
You seem to have a very joyful and full life. When you are feeling stuck and need to push through, what do you do?
Well, I do have a joyful, fun life, but I've been through a lot that has made me appreciate what I have. So I think that's part of it and why I am so happy in everything that's coming and that has been here, because it hasn't been the easiest path in the world to get here. And, people think, oh, it's so easy to go and do this. It's not. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years and it's been a lot of hard work.
Right.
And it just gets harder in certain ways every day. It's
right. It never gets eeasier.
It never gets easier. And that's what's cool is you're challenging yourself personally because it's my baby other than my children. And, you don't know where it's going to go. And so it's just really cool to have opportunities to take risk and to take you in different directions.
What do you find yourself working on the most, in either life or as a boss? What's something you're always striving to be better at? And then also on the flip side, what's your strength as a leader? And an entrepreneur?
Well, I think one of the hardest things that you're always working on is you have to sort of have blinders on, and you have to not, there's so much negativity out there that, you see and you hear, and you just have to kind of, push above all of that. And it's important to know that at the end of the day, like, my family is the most important thing. And so no matter what happens, or if anyone says anything, or if something doesn't go my way, or if something doesn't work out, the family is the most important thing. And we always have them to go back to.
Right.
So focusing on them has been, instead of other people, has been really powerful. Even in the last year, I've really changed that. And now maybe it's because my kids are teenagers, and I feel like, there's a little more time that I need to take at night, to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
Because, as they get older, things change. It's different. It's always hard, but it changes as they grow.
Right. What is the craziest thing you've ever done for your business?
Starting it.
Right.
I mean, I was a mom that had a 6-month-old kid, and I started a business in my bedroom and a website
How old
selling.
were you
I was 33.
At 33.
Began with an idea when I had my son Shane. I had difficulties getting pregnant because I had gone through chemotherapy, and so we tried some different ways, and it was not successful. But I finally got pregnant naturally, and when he was born, I was just given gifts that didn't really represent me or what I wanted to wear to represent him and my family. So I made it. And it was a simple dog tag that had his full name spelled out. And I wore it on a long gold chain. And I was a wardrobe stylist at the time. And I'd wear it on set. And the grips and the gaffers. And everyone was like, oh, my wife's going to want that. Can you make that? And I said, sure, I can make whatever you want. And I started making them and started a website selling jewelry direct to consumer, not to stores, which is before a lot of people were doing it. And I really wanted to make sure that this was going to be a viable, successful business if we were going to start it.
Right.
And one day in my bedroom, I've got, Shane in like a bassinet next to me, and the phone is ringing, and I'm taking, I'm trying to take orders, and Kevin's like, this is a business. I think that you should stop styling, and you need to really do this full time.
I was going to ask, like, was there a moment where you realized, like, let's do this?
Yes.
Was when you were was that it?
I mean, there's been multiple moments. That was my moment of, okay, this is a business. Let's try this. And then you have moments where my first cover was a necklace that I had made for Uma Thurman, and she wore it on the cover of Glamour. It just so happened that my friend who was a hairstylist passed it off to her the day that she was shooting this cover, and she wore it on the cover.
How'd you find out that news? Like,
I saw the cover. He texted me, or maybe the time he paged me, it was even texting me. I don't even know. And he said she loves it. She's wearing it. And I was like, that's fantastic.
Where did you go and get one yourself? Like a copy?
Of course.
Where did you go? Like,
I
do you remember that day?
Of course I remember that day. Of course I do. We lived in Soho, and I walked down to this very cool magazine stand that's still there on Sullivan Street, and I got a copy of it. It was the coolest thing.
I love that. Do you still have that copy?
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
Of course. We have all of that.
So even when you were styling, were you like, there's something more, like there's just...
Yeah. I had a business. I made made baby blankets and burp cloths and bibs, and I'd private label them to department stores in Canada. Like I've always done
this was just like meant to, well, cheers to that. And here we are on your, like, sitting amongst your furniture.
Know, right?
I love it. Cheers to you. And we ask
you.
everyone, if you could have a drink with anyone in your glassware, who would you have a drink with and why? And describe the whole setting.
Well, without a doubt, I know who it would be, and it's probably, it's not a celebrity. It's my grandmother.
Aww.
Because she left us way too soon, and she was someone that I still look up to because she was the coolest, and I have the best memories of her. And if I could go back and ask her questions about family, and she was also a businesswoman. So, and was very into fashion, and I never really, I was young, so I never had the opportunity as an adult to really speak to her. Oh, I would have asked her so many things. When she started 3 different companies after she had kids. So it's sort of, how did you do it back then? What can I do differently now?
Right.
All of those things, and coming from a family member, it would be, amazing.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So I wish.
That's a great answer. I love that.